What do you make of this? I mean, firstly, do you agree that there is an inherent paradox here that you could be both getting headlines about India achieving some kind of global economic benchmark, but there is continued pressure on jobs and incomes? And if there is indeed a paradox, how do you explain it?
Yeah, it is, Basu, first of all, a pleasure to be on your show. It is not a paradox, really. The landmarks that we are hitting, especially the landmark of overtaking UK GDP, this is a very long run process. And it makes a headline, but it is really nothing to celebrate. For one, this is a very long process. When you overtake a country's GDP, this is going on for the last 25 years. India is growing faster and catching up. Number two, population growth. India's population is still growing much faster than Britain's, close to double Britain's population growth. So in terms of GDP, the total income generated in the country, that we would overtake Britain someday was absolutely inevitable, if for nothing else. Just by population growth, we would overtake them because it's a larger population and it would be a bigger size. So I don't think that really should make news.
Okay.
The other question that you're raising, that the growth is picking up, that is indeed true. And there, however, there is no paradox. India's growth had been quite remarkable. From the year 2003 to 2011, it was a phenomenal growth phase. After that, and especially after 2016, it has been a steady decline. It's a very alarming decline from 2016 that has taken place. Now it is rising again. But let's just look at one thing. When you fall into a pit and then you get growth, the growth is that of climbing out of the pit. In fact, one of the world records of growth is China in 1964 grew by 18%. And the reason is just before that, there had been the great famine of China where growth had crashed. So the growth is just getting out of that. And that is what is happening now. Now, you should not interpret that excessively either way, that it means nothing or it means a lot. But the growth that you've seen just recently is the growth of getting out of the pit. And let me just put in one more word. If you flatten it out, take the 2 years or 3 years and take the average growth over the last 2 years plus bring in 22-23, India's annual growth rate is roughly 2.5% per annum, which is not the bottom of the world, nowhere near the top of the world. We are somewhere in the middle, and the reason for that is in the year 2020, India's growth was 142nd in the world. The plummeting was very deep, and now we are climbing out of it. Fingers crossed that we are going to do better. But indeed, what you're seeing is the flattening out and nothing more.